Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, and I'm at Oberland Station today. I'm working on this settlement. I'm revising it. I made it a long time ago, and it was fine at the time. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I'm revising it, and I wanted to take the opportunity to show you this 360-degree defense platform that I constructed, and I'm going to show you how I made it. But first, let me describe the reasoning behind this. So, as you can see, I have my attack spawn points marked. And in some settlements, attack spawn points appear right in the middle of the settlement. You see that the marker is right there, and there are even some dropped guns from super mutants and raiders from when they have attacked. So, sadly, unless you use a mod, some of your settlements are going to have attack spawn points on the inside, meaning that walls are not really practical because enemies will just spawn on the interiors of the walls. Additionally, if you fast travel into a settlement after waiting a long time since you got the alert, it's quite possible that the game will fast forward the attackers into the walls of your settlement anyway. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a defense structure that had a 360-degree view, meaning that it can attack an enemy at any angle, regardless of where they are and regardless of spawn points, in cases like this, where enemies just kind of warp into your settlement and you have no control over where they come from. So you're going to notice that I have only machine gun turrets here. Now, that's intentional. I realize the machine gun turrets are not the most powerful turrets, but I don't want to risk destroying my crops, injuring my settlers, destroying my shops, forcing me to repair them every single time I come back into town. And the reason that they could get destroyed is if you use something that does area of effect damage, like missile turrets or explosive machine gun turrets, then it's quite possible that you could damage your own settlement in the course of defending it. So what I've done is I'm using these Mark III machine gun turrets. Now, Oberland Station is towards the north of the map, and settlements that are towards the north of the map have access to only lower level machine gun turrets. They don't have access to the Mark V or the Mark VII turrets. Now, if I had my druthers, so to speak, I'd use Mark V turrets because those are incendiary and they actually set people on fire, or a bunch of heavy laser turrets. I think heavy laser turrets would probably be good here as well. But for this one, I'm just using machine gun turrets, and they're the stronger ones. They're Mark III instead of Mark I. Anyway, as you can see, I've got a 360-degree platform. This platform has the machine gun turrets on the middle of the curve, and this platform has the machine gun turrets at the connections of each plate. Therefore, each one is covering a different angle. Then I used these wall-mounted spotlights that came with the Automatron DLC. You can find the schematics for these inside the Mechanist's lair if you haven't gotten them. And then I wired them down to one central pylon right there, conduit, and then I wired that to my power source. Now I'm going to be organizing all of this later when I finish it up, but I just wanted to set this down. And I'm supporting it with the metal I-beams that came with Contraptions Workshop. I figured that they would be really nice for this. Now, as you can see, I have a variety of different supported missile turret systems. These are some old ones that I did, where I just elevated them using the shack bridge, and this is fine if you want your defenses to all point in the same direction. I also used the scaffolding pieces that came with Contraptions Workshop for my Grey Garden build, and I can show you what that looks like if you want to make more of a scaffolding system to support your structures. But I wanted to try something new, and I'm really pleased with how this turned out, so I'm going to show you really quickly how to build your own. Now, it's a bit tricky, so first things first, let's get to a section of the map. Whoops. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to go defend the slog. Let's get to a section of the map that doesn't have a lot of stuff by it, because we're going to be moving things after we build it. So this looks good over here. Let's go over here. And the first thing we want to do is lay down an I-beam from Contraptions Workshop. So go to Miscellaneous, and there are two different versions of these posts, one thick short one and one thick tall one. Let's go with the tall one for now, and we can embed it in the ground, and we'll move that around later. Then go to your concrete floors, and these are actually fairly tricky. They don't like to snap, but you can get them to snap eventually. Then just build your concrete floor, snapped to the I-beam. And then, now that we have that done, we can go back to the I-beams and get this to snap in a similar spot. Alright, it didn't want to snap, but what we can do is we can just manually twist it around until it looks like it's even. There we go. That's not perfect, but I can fix it later. There we go. Okay, so we've got our supported structure. Now let's do it all over again for the next level. Let's set this up here first. And then, you can see that the I-beam is sticking out of the platform a little bit. Use that to line up the next one. And that should get it in exactly the right spot. So let's do this all over again. Now, depending upon how you place it, these things might not snap to where you want them to. So I want this to snap. Yeah, it's not wanting... See how it's snapping the other direction?
I don't believe what I heard on the radio.
So because of that, we're going to have to move this around, because the snap point for this I-beam is actually on the other side. And based on the curvature of this floor piece, it wouldn't work if we were to snap it on that side. So, there we go. Alright, now let's go ahead and get that last I-beam. And it's not a precise science. I'm sad that this last one doesn't snap very well. I'm sure there are ways to finagle the pieces so that they snap better, but this is going to be sufficient for the demonstration. Okay, so we have the elevated structure. That's actually the hard bit. Now let's go ahead and go to our missile turrets. Or machine gun turrets. Let's get those placed first so that we don't have any issues later. All right, so I showed this off in another video, but you can switch between the different grades of turrets by just going to the left and then going to the right. You see how it says Mark 1? Well, we want Mark 3. And you see that no matter how many times I do this, I never get Mark 5 or Mark 7, and that's just a restriction for Oberland Station. If you watched my video dedicated to this topic, you'll see that when I was at Spectacle Island, I had quite an assortment of different machine gun turrets that I could use. Okay, now... the nice thing about this is I didn't use any mods. I'm not using any mods to do this. I could use my favorite tool, which is the Precise Movement and Rotation software, to get these in exactly the spot I want, but this is good enough, and it's fun being able to do it without mods for a change, just to show off. Now, so we want to position these in such a way so that the widest range, the widest angle is protected. So we put the machine gun turrets on the arch, on the curvature of the floor on the bottom one. Let's place them on the connecting bit of the floor for the top one. Boy, the settlers really do love talking about how much they love the Minuteman. That's for sure. Alright, and wow, look at that. It's so much easier this the second time around. Okay, now we've got our wall-mounted spotlights, and let's just find a nice spot for them. Now, you don't want to put them here, because that would get in the way of the I-beams, and you wouldn't be able to wire them down towards the center of the platform. So, you want to place them on this arch, and it's not wanting to do it now. It could be that because I placed those top machine gun turrets that they're getting in the way. So let's go ahead and get rid of these machine gun turrets. We can place them again in a little bit. This is going to at least tell the workshop system that there's nothing in the way and that we can place these things. There, you see how now it opens up and I'm able to do it? It's stupid, but that's just the way it is. Right in the middle. Great. Right in the middle. Come on. Ooh. Ah. Oh, all right. Now we can place our machine gun turrets back. Mark 3s all around. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. All right, looking good. Now, let's wire this on up. So go on down to power, go to your connectors and switches, go to this power conduit. And then we can just place that smack dab in the middle. And from there, we can now wire our spotlights. Now you do want to make sure that you wire spotlights directly to a power source instead of to another defense turret, because if one of those defense turrets gets blown up, then it'll cut power to everything that's connected to it. There. Now we can move it to where we want it. Now I've already got one where I want it, but let's hold E on the keyboard. Oh, and it's not getting that last one because it's not snapped. Let's see if we can get this a little closer. No. There, now it's at least clipping. No, it's not wanting to work. All right, well, we can at least... There we go. We've got the entire system, and it looks like that one leg is a little off kilter, but we'll fix that. So now that it's built, we can place it exactly where we want it. As you can see, I placed this one right in the middle of the settlement. That gives it maximum coverage. And since this is just an example, I'll place it right there. And then we can move this back to where it was. And then it's time to power this. And I'm going to need to move it just a little bit. Please, 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 please. Yes! All right. There we go. It is fully powered, fully lit, and you can use this same method if you were to use laser turrets instead of the machine gun turrets. You could put them all around the perimeter like that, and then wire them directly to the conduit in the middle of the platform, and then wire that conduit directly to the power, so that you don't have them daisy chained together, which makes for a weak chain. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's really cool. You can use E to just move the platform anywhere you want once it's set. You got to be careful, though, because if you put it down next to something, if you put it down really close to something over there, then it'll pick up that when you try to move it, which could be a bummer. So make sure that when you do set it down, that it's either in the permanent location that you want it, or it's not near other items that you can move it later. Anyway, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this demonstration was useful. It's a nice little template that you can use to build elevated defense platforms that have a 360-degree view of your settlement for defense. And for large settlements, you can build 3 or 4 of these and scatter them around just to maximize the internal defense of your settlement. All right, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, if you found this useful, please subscribe for more content like this. I've got a whole bunch of other little templates and gadgets and ideas that I'm going to be creating videos for. So subscribe for more Fallout 4 content. Your subscriptions keep this channel alive, and thank you all so very much for watching.